really important that we begin to change the mindset of young people to know that your vote counts.
They don't understand that the legislative arm of government is actually a co-equal arm of government.
We have an incredible amount of potential.
Whatever it is I was doing, because of my personal DNA, it had to be of an international standard, which is what, seriously speaking, is all about.
Hi there. I'm truly glad to welcome you to this edition of Seriously Speaking because it's Easter, isn't it? While I wish you a happy Easter, I want to remind you what Easter is about. It's about the resurrection. It's about going through a hard time of Lent and suffering and coming out for spiritual growth and knowing that, yes, I'm stronger because there's somebody who's behind me. There's no adversity that can overtake me. That's the story of my guest today. My guest is somebody who's going around telling people, you can kill cancer, because she did. And it started with her mind coming to terms with it. Today, she runs a foundation that's trying to educate people on how to manage that dreaded C word, cancer, if it does appear in your life. But the truth is, on the show today, we are seriously speaking about healing. I'll be back with my guest and the rest of the show if you don't go away. Yes, welcome back. And I'm in the studio with Tinu Lawal Sanusi. It's nice to have you on the set.
Thank you.
You look gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
But you know when you say somebody has or had cancer, there's a kind of expectation. Would you agree?
Yeah, you're right. People always expect to see you looking haggard and, like life is almost, out of you and all that. But that's not me and that's not my story and that won't be me.
And that won't be anybody who chooses not to be that way.
Exactly.
But I do know you had lovely long hair before.
Yeah, I did. I had very long hair, very full hair, very, very lovely long hair. But of course, by the time I started chemotherapy, everything fell off. I didn't even care about the hair because I wanted my life and I want to be back, looking good and all that. So.
But tell me about what it was like the first time you had the patch come off. How did it happen? Was it a patch or in little bits?
Because I'd heard about it, I'd spoken with my doctor about it, and he had told me what to expect and all that. I think it started by, I would just wake up and I'll find strands of my hair everywhere in the room. How that was happening, I don't know, even without combing my hair. Though I'd stopped weaving or doing any fixing anything on my hair when I started my chemotherapy because I was told it was going to fall off anyway. So I left my hair like that, so I would just pack it into one. Then I discovered that when I comb my hair, the hair will be so much, it will be so much that sometimes the air that comes out from my hair could fill a small bean bag. Yeah, it was like that each time I combed my hair. And this happened for days on end. Because I have a lot of hair, I had very full hair, so it kept thinning out.
How did you feel? That's the question, because most times we hear these things, but the emotions that go through your mind when that's happening, how did you feel?
Feel about what?
When the hair was falling off.
I was prepared for it, like I said. I knew it was going to fall off.
So you didn't miss it? You just went and cut the whole thing?
No. I didn't miss it. I was prepared for that.
But tell me about it, because I know that, we spoke on the phone.
Yeah.
This is like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And you give me a call. I have this friend who has cancer, and I would like, why did you go that route?
Yeah, thank you. When I discovered in 2014, around the time that Ebola was in Nigeria, and discovering was really a shock for me. It was the last thing I was expecting to happen.
Why would that be a shock?
I don't check myself. I'm just like every other person, like you, like everyone else.
Most people,
like a lot of people. I don't do any medical. I never used to do any medical check.
You only go to have babies.
I only go to the hospital to have babies because I'm averagely a very strong person. I don't fall ill for any reason, and if I do, once I use my Panadol, that's all. So, but this time around, I was just in the house and I can't remember what I was looking for. I wasn't even checking myself. And I discovered this lump, which was not, part of my body. Of course, it scared me. Yeah, it scared me so much that I didn't even want to talk about it. I didn't want to think about it. It took me 3 days to to put myself together and then check, find out from Google what breast lump is all about. Luckily then, Google told me it's that not all breast lumps are cancerous. And that was what I wanted. That was the message I wanted to take out of what I read. It told me that for some women, when their period is coming, that the lump comes and then after their period it goes away.
And that
was
you hope.
incidentally, it gave me hope because some days after, I just finished my period when I discovered that. So I was hoping that wishing that was what was my case. And then I was waiting for it to disappear. But it didn't go anywhere. Then I had to call my gynecologist, the only doctor that I've ever known. That's the one that delivers my baby. I hadn't seen him in like 13 years because that was the time I had my second baby.
At that time?
Yes. And then I called him up and he said I should come over. So I went over to see him, he checked it, and he realized there was a lump, truly, and he said, okay, that I should go for a mammogram to check and be very sure. I did the mammogram and the mammogram said it was benign, which means that it wasn't cancerous. So I was happy. That's me, ordinarily. I don't fall ill, so I had no reason to think that it was cancerous or it was cancer. And yes, they actually confirmed that it wasn't cancer. But they told me to take it off because if you leave anything that is abnormal in your body and, allow it, they could turn cancerous. So I waited till Nigeria, Oh, sorry, I didn't go to do the mammogram until Nigeria was certified free because I was scared.
That was in November.
That was in November. That was in October. I went for the mammogram in October. Nigeria was certified free in October, and it was after it was certified free that I went to the hospital. Ebola free. I was so scared of Ebola. I didn't want to go
and then
face another thing and then complicate things and all that. So I went in for the mammogram, and then in November I went in for the lumpectomy.
Here in Nigeria?
Here in Nigeria.
Where did that happen?
It was, I would like to leave that out because they didn't do a good job. I'm not impressed with what happened then.
What are the lessons you take out of that experience?
The lessons to take out of the experience is that, one, when you discover a thing like cancer, make sure that you get to see the real oncologist. We do not have a lot of oncologists in Nigeria. We have very few oncologists in Nigeria. A lot of people are taking up the job of oncologists, calling themselves oncologists.
Who's an oncologist?
Pardon?
Who is an oncologist?
An oncologist is a doctor of cancer. And there are different types of oncologists. You have the medical oncologist, you have the radiation oncologist, you have the surgical oncologist. You have different types of oncologists. You have different doctors in that area.
So do we have the luxury of all of that? We don't, because we have very few oncologists in Nigeria, real oncologists. I think right now, from research, I found out that we have about 50 oncologists in Nigeria. Every other person is a surgeon or, a specialist in other areas. Just a regular surgeon. Exactly. Yeah, so we don't really have oncologists. So I got into the hands of some people that are not oncologists. And they did a lumpectomy. They did a lumpectomy. Which is to take out the lump. Which was to take out the lump. But you also have surgical oncologists who would know if there are lymph nodes. Yeah. That's only. It's only a specialist in that field. So I must have got it short. What happened was they did a lumpectomy. They didn't do the lymph. No. Luckily, I didn't even have lymphs. But, it could have been wrong because after when I started doing my treatment, I discovered, I found out about people who had done mastectomy and they had not removed. Yeah, and had not removed limbs and then had to come back. In fact, one of the people that we sponsored in my last event, because we sponsored some cancer patients in my last event in my foundation, fell into that category. She had done a mastectomy a long time ago, only to find out that they didn't do it well. So they sent her back to Luth. And she didn't even have the money to do it. Oh, she had done it in a private hospital? I don't know where she did it, but... So now she went to Luth to have it done. Okay, she was turned over to Luth, because that's what normally happens when it complicates. When the matters get complicated, they turn them to Luth. Okay, so that's where we have a radiotherapy and oncology department. We have in some other university teaching hospitals in Nigeria, like about 8 teaching hospitals. But right now, as at the time that I was doing my own treatment, we had 8 radiotherapy machines in Nigeria, in the whole of Nigeria. As at the time I was doing my treatment, it was only remaining 1. 7 were not functioning. And the only one that was working is the one in Luth.